Okay, a few questions. First of all, why is the funding limit for this Kickstarter fairly low? The reason for that is pretty simple. I didn't feel confident promising price or schedule availability unless I had a reasonable assumption that we could make these things as promised. The only way that I know of promising something is to actually go and do it. So we've already invested a good bit of money into tooling up production on these things. Question, how durable are these things? The material used in this is amazingly durable. Part of it is the design. We've designed it in such a way that the that bottom layer protects the inner watertight layer of the boat. So even if you do get abrasions or even a dent or hole on that bottom layer, the top layer is going to be protected. Now, if you do get something catastrophic, I don't know, say you drop your Bowie knife inside the boat and it makes a hole in it, fixing it is relatively easy because unlike a raft or an inflatable raft, there's no expansive stress on the material. So you could put a piece of duct tape on, especially Gorilla Tape, for instance, and it will bind to it indefinitely. Question, what is the lifespan of this boat? Is this some kind of disposable boat? And the answer is no, because we use stainless steel in the fittings, and the plastic here is incredibly durable, incredibly resilient. And you can see we've already paddled this around a lot, and except for being a little dirty, it's none worse the wear. So as long as you're willing to protect it, spray it down with some UV coating or UV protect it now and then. You can look in the bottom of the or in the body of the Kickstarter to see what brands we recommend. You should have years and years of good use out of this thing. Here's another question. What's the carrying capacity of this boat? We designed it to hold 275 pounds, and that's with the water going halfway up the sides of the boat. So if you want to go too much over that, please paddle carefully or add the flotation sponsons like we described. But assuming you're an average hiker, about 150, 175, maybe even 200 pounds, you should have no problem using this boat with your gear. That also depends how much gear you're carrying. You could potentially also have room for a child or even two small hikers in this thing. You'll notice that we have two oar locks, one a more forward position, and those are the ones I've been using, but there's also a back oar lock position, so you can have a small person sit in front and your regular rowers sit a little bit further behind, and you can paddle them around with the center oar locks. Okay, what maintenance will you have to do to this thing? Well, for the most part, this boat is maintenance free. It wouldn't hurt to spray the plastic down with some kind of UV protectant, maybe once or twice a season. And if you look in the body of the Kickstarter, we'll give you some details about that. But that'll protect the plastic from UV damage and ozone damage. Now, you'll notice we also protect these seams with a very thick tape here. This should be good for a few seasons, but if this ever starts to get worn down, you can reapply it yourself very easily and for just a few bucks. It's no big deal. Okay, so there's a huge difference between an 8-pound boat like that and even a relatively lightweight kayak, like 35, 30 pounds, even 20 pounds. Because something small and lightweight like this, you can genuinely take places that you can't get larger boats, that you can't get heavier boats without some kind of real commitment. The goal behind this is to bring it with you if you think there's going to be, say, a river you want to cross without having to hike upstream and find a place that you can cross without getting wet, or even putting your gear inside this thing and swimming alongside of it just so you know it's going to stay dry when you go to the other side. Safety. A quick word about safety. Any water activity is inherently unsafe because we cannot breathe underwater. So if you don't feel comfortable swimming, if you don't feel comfortable falling in the water, please do not back this project, okay? Please, if you don't feel comfortable around water, go take some swimming classes, okay? Please do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, because water sports are a blast, but please, it's important to be safe. And if you do feel comfortable around water, even if you're trying to stay very lightweight, sacrifice your weight with the oars and use the hand paddles or something, but please, please bring a PFD with you. It's important. Even if you think you're one of the best swimmers, and you probably are, I have no doubt, a PFD helps save lives. It's a worthwhile weight investment. It's not a big deal. You can use it as a pillow in your tent. No big deal. Please use a PFD. The most important part of this Kickstarter is we want to make sure everybody stays safe.